Asset 5, who knows you? First, we're going to talk about the first steps in getting known, and then mastering the big 8.5 elements of positioning, the art of becoming known as a valued authority. Then we're going to go to what to do with those you attract, followed by getting in front of people who can say yes to you, and then what are the 3 secrets of getting known, hint, writing, email magazine, and speaking. And sixth, a few more thoughts on getting known. Here are the first steps of getting known. Becoming well known, or at least well known among your prospective customers or connections, is the single most valuable element in the entire connection process. Tiger Woods does not make sales calls. People call him. Oprah Winfrey does not make sales calls. People call her. The better known you become, the more people will want to connect with you. When you're an unknown, you have to reach out to become known and make a connection. Obviously, you can't go from being a relative nobody to being a high-profile celebrity overnight. The key is to start with small actions. The simple answer is to put yourself in front of people who can say yes to you, or put yourself in front of people that you want to become known to. I've accomplished this by writing and speaking. It can also be accomplished by joining organizations, having your own blog, creating ideas, and becoming better known as a person of value. It's most interesting to me that every single company in the world tries to teach salespeople how to sell. Nothing could be more backwards or ineffective. What they should be teaching is how to position, how to promote, how to provide value, how to communicate, how to make presentations, how to engage, and how to connect. If you employ my first rule of selling, people don't like to be sold, but they love to buy, then you will understand that learning how to sell goes against the grain of human nature. It's a hell of a lot easier to build trust by providing value than it is to make a sales pitch. I built a career by providing value. I built wealth and success by providing value. It's not always directed value. Most of it is just value thrown out to the marketplace for acceptance. And those who accept it will connect with me. I do it with a weekly column, and I do it with a weekly email magazine called Sales Caffeine, an e-zine. And so can you. But don't expect the response to be instant and overwhelming. As of this writing, I've been at it for 15 years. That may seem like a long time to you, but I can promise you it's only a heartbeat to me. It's a constant struggle, and at the same time a constant joy. But it's a slowly evolving process, one that requires patience, nurturing, consistency, and a dedication to excellence. When I first moved to Charlotte, North Carolina in 1988, I was flat broke, actually under flat broke. I began to network. I began to speak. I began to consult, and eventually that led to writing. Eventually, by the way, is a 4-year period of time. I was still relatively broke in 1992 when I began to write. But in 1990, I gave a talk to a singles group at a local Methodist church. The title of the talk was Enthusiasm, from the Greek entheos, meaning the God within. I did the talk at the request of one of my newfound Charlotte friends, the great Rick Matheny. 2 years later, when I was shopping for groceries, someone who I didn't know stopped me in the aisle and said, "You're the guy that gave the talk at the Methodist church on enthusiasm, aren't you?" "Yes, I am," I said. He said, "I still think about that talk. It really impacted me." I said, "Thank you very much." As he walked away, my whole body became flush with the thought of how much words, my words, could impact and encourage others. Interestingly, it came at the time that I'd just begun to write my column for the Charlotte Business Journal. It's amazing how acts of kindness can return to you to be your own incentive and your own encouragement to pursue your goals and dreams for success. When you begin to give value to the world, somehow the people you will affect will find a way to tell you, even if it takes a couple of years. Your instincts will tell you what to do, but your personal power, that will actually create the deed is what makes it happen. Start small. An acorn, a tulip bulb, a mustard seed, or a kernel of corn. Plant it, nurture it, and give it room to grow. If you just water it regularly, in a year or two, it will begin to blossom. Master the 8.5, the big 8.5 elements of positioning, the art of becoming known as a valued authority. Number 1, getting in print. Use public relations to your maximum advantage. Get yourself mentioned, but not featured. If the story is about the customer or the vendor, then you become the hero to them. Number 2, being published. My weekly article on sales, loyalty, and personal development has been published since 1992. It is the source of my notoriety, my books, my seminars, and my wealth. Number 3, speaking in public. When you speak to a group, you're the presumed leader. You may not know the group, but when you're done, the whole group knows you. Number 4, using the internet to communicate value. My weekly email magazine, or e-zine, Sales Caffeine, reaches about 400,000 people a week with a value message. Help others profit first, and your profit will last. Number 5, taking an active role in your trade association. Get to know and network with others who count. Lead a group. Get involved. If you learn enough, eventually you can teach. Number 6, being noticeably different. Look at the work shirt I present my seminars in. Risky outfit, but it works. You don't have to be off the wall, but you must be slightly left or slightly right of center, or you'll blend in with the wallpaper. Number 7, adding attraction to your outreach. Whenever you see an article of mine, you will also see an offer to go to my website to get more, like the free GitBit at the bottom of this page. Whatever outreach you offer, give someone a reason to go to your website and get more. Number 8, adding differentiation to your everyday business expressions. Your voicemail, your fax cover sheet, your proposal, and your business card all pretty much suck. What does that say about the greatness of you, your product, or your company, especially you? And number 8.5, letting others sell for you. The power of testimonials cannot be denied. Testimonials make your reputation. They make sales when you can't. And they give proof to the statements that you make. Customers and prospects believe others like themselves more than they believe you. So if you want the free GitBit, you want to check out my 4-page detailed description of power positioning to get known and how to be perceived as a person of value, go to www.gitomer.com, register if you're a first-time user, and enter the word position in the GitBit box. What to do with those you attract? Here's a warning. Once you begin to become attractive, not everyone who tries to make contact with you will be beneficial. My response to that is, treat everyone who tries to make contact with you with respect and dignity. Same way you would want someone to treat you if you were trying to connect with them. It's a universal law, probably better known as karma, or the world paying you back for what you do. Here's what to do. Continue to give things away. In my lifetime, one of the most interesting and powerful elements of my own success has been giving things away to others without measuring. I've never given something to someone and told them, you owe me one. I've always just given it freely, without expectation. This way, the world will pay me back, or someone else in the world will pay me back tenfold. Sometimes the person will pay me back, but I consider it a surprise or a gift rather than a debt. Getting in front of people who can say yes to you. If you're going to try to make a connection, doesn't it seem kind of logical that you would want to connect with those people who could help you the most right away? Doesn't it also seem logical that you would want to be in front of as big of a prospect base as possible? Of course. When I write my column, my weekly column, it appears in business newspapers. A high percentage of the readers are salespeople, business executives, or entrepreneurs. My exact target audience. Here's the philosophy behind it. I put myself in front of people who can say yes to me, and I deliver value first. This has been my entire marketing strategy for the past 15 years. People read my column, get to know my philosophy, read something that they like, perhaps pass it on to others, and my phone rings. Sometimes the phone rings with a request for more information. Sometimes the phone rings with a request for me to do a seminar. But whatever it is, it's a lead. It's a connection, and a valuable one at that. I didn't connect with them. Hell, I didn't even know they existed. I just created a value message, and they called. Seems simple, but it's not easy. Some people read for years before they call, so I need to have a different value message each week. Here's a major aha. Would those same people have called if I had simply placed an ad in the paper? An ad claiming, I'm the greatest sales trainer of all time? Doubtful. Unless the ad was an opportunity for them to come to one of my seminars after my column had appeared there in the same position for years. Now you begin to understand the word value, the law of attraction, and the power of consistency in front of your target audience, the ones who can say yes to you. I always find it amusing when someone tells me they have a list of people from their target audience and their intention is to cold call them. That's somewhere between a poor joke and pathetic. On a cold call, you have to explain yourself, sell your company, sell your product, and face major rejection. Major being defined as somewhere between 85 to 98 out of 100. It's pretty major. If you'd have taken the time to mail or email those same 100 people something of value about them, some of them might have called you. And the ones that you decided to call would all take your call if you referenced the value piece that you previously sent them. Identifying a target audience is easy. Knowing how to get in front of them is harder. But it makes selling yourself much easier than cold calling. It makes connecting so much easier when you become somewhat known to your prospective connectee. Go back to my weekly column for just a moment. It's in 95 business papers every week. Thousands of people cut my column out and paste it on their office wall or keep it in a notebook. If I went around to one of the cities where my column appears and began to cold call random businesses, odds are that someone on that sales team reads my column and saves it. They'd be honored that I cold call them. They would take me to their CEO in 2 seconds. I'm able to connect with them or anyone in their company through them because I delivered a consistent value message to them for years. Think about the connections that you want to make. And instead of just trying to figure out a script and dialing a number, why don't you try to create a strategy and a game plan for getting in front of them with a value message instead of trying to get in front of them with a cold call? What are the 3 secrets of getting known? Hint: writing, e-zine or email magazine, and speaking. Throughout the course of this asset, I've drilled my secrets of getting known to make certain you know which 3 should have priority in your life and which 3 will give you the highest probability of creating the law of attraction, building relationships, and creating a reputation to make it easy for you to connect. I'm going to repeat them here. Number 1, writing. Writing does not just lead to connections. Writing does not just lead to the law of attraction. Writing does not just lead to clarifying your thoughts and philosophy. Writing does not just lead to articles and books. Writing leads to wealth. Here's a success action. Set aside 15 minutes a day when you first wake up and write. It's best if you have a laptop because you can correct as you go. Each morning, pick a topic. It's easiest if you start out recounting a story, something that happened with your pet, maybe a travel experience, maybe something that happened with your family. Each day, you complete the file, store it in a writing folder, and edit it again the following morning. You'll find all the flaws you couldn't find the morning you wrote it. Here's the editing secret. Don't just read it on the screen, read it out loud. Every flaw will appear as you speak it. Number 2 is e-zine. I established Sales Caffeine in 2001. All I was trying to do was to get a value message out to as many salespeople as I could to help them improve their sales. About 6 months later, I asked my subscribers to buy some of my books and products. They bought. Lots. I made a specific request in September of 2003. I asked them to all buy the Sales Bible in the new paperback edition. On September the 3rd, 2003, the Sales Bible reached number 1 on Amazon.com at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. At that time, I had approximately 50,000 subscribers. As of this writing, I have reached about 400,000 subscribers each week. I wish I could tell you the true power of the email magazine. I talk about it, actually I preach it, based on what it has brought me. It's not just my weekly sales message, it's how I stay in touch with more than 400,000 salespeople. And it's a technology that you can employ today. Over the next millennium, the single most valuable asset you and your company will possess is your email mailing list. Build it and guard it with your life. Here's a success action. Create a list of 26 tips that your customer can use. Now you have the basis for 6 months worth of weekly e-zines. Go to a college that has a graphic design course and ask the instructor to create a class project to design your e-zine. You'll have over 25 incredible designs to pick from. Pay the winner $100 and give him a bottle of wine. Now gather all your email names, put them in a file, edit your e-zine, paste it in an email message, and hit the send button. Do that every week until you die. Number 3, speaking. Just as writing leads to books, writing leads to speaking. The more you write, the more speech content you will amass. Then there's the matter of learning to speak in front of others and gaining enough confidence to speak in front of others. Fortunately, they go hand in hand. The more speeches you give, the more confidence you build. The secret is being prepared. Contrary to popular belief and myth, people are not afraid to speak, they're just unprepared. Same with you. If your information is valuable and you have 1 ounce of dynamic passion in your soul, your message will be well received and you will be perceived as a leader, as an expert, and eventually as an authority. Continue to write and build your information base. Here's a success action. Call a Rotary Club or a Kiwanis Club in your city. Find out the person's name in charge of booking speakers and book a speech. That will force you to write the speech and practice the speech. A few more thoughts on getting known. Who knows you can be measured. I have at least 3 people a day come up to me and want to talk sales or tell me a story about a seminar of mine they went to or get me to sign their book. It's a nice feeling. It's also a report card. It takes time. I started writing in March of 1992. My first book came out in November of 1994. Since 1992, I've delivered more than 2,000 speeches and seminars, and every one was a result of someone calling me. 2,000 booked engagements, 0 sales calls. That's the power of writing. That's the power of giving value first. That's the result of getting in front of your audience with a value message. Here's a major clue. It takes thought to create value, and you have to decide to do it, and you have to dedicate the time to do it. Here's the cool news. I've seen this work firsthand. I did it, and so can you.